After a horrible accident in low Earth orbit, a crew of astronauts find out that the moon is a Dyson sphere, slowly veering off the original trajectory. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and distortions in Earth's gravitational pull destroy humanity, and only 3 people are capable of saving it. In January of 2011, Brian Harper, Jacinda Fowler, and Alan Marcus find themselves in the space shuttle. Their mission is to repair a satellite orbiting Earth, but before they can complete their mission, a strange electronic swarm attacks them. The cloud-like structure knocks Joe Fowler unconscious, and then goes to kill Marcus by cutting his tether. Brian goes after him, but his tether pulls him back to the ship. Once he's back inside the space shuttle, he tried contacting Marcus, but no one answered. While he was thinking about how to land the space shuttle, the swarm hid in a crater deep within the surface of the moon. Brian finds a way to land the shuttle and tells everyone how their team was attacked by an electronic swarm. Jacinda can't back him up because she's unconscious, so after a year of trying to prove the incident, Brian is fired from NASA. They claim the accident was caused by human error, and he's the one to blame. In the aftermath, Brian loses his house, so Brenda and Sonny, their son, go to live with Brenda's mother. After 10 years, the movie shows us Casey Houseman. He's just an ordinary janitor at the University of California. But in the meantime, he sneaks inside the offices of college professors, logs into their computers, and uses the National Observatory in Chile to use their telescope. He notices something strange, so he calls the observatory asking for coordinates and the history of the moon's orbit. He does this by pretending to be a university professor. Realizing he's late for his second job, he rushes to the fast food joint where he works as a cashier. A few minutes in, the observatory sent him the email containing the coordinates for moon's orbit. His suspicions were confirmed. The moon is drawing closer and closer to Earth. It's only a matter of time before it crashes into it. While Casey tries to contact NASA, Jacinda is called to work in the middle of the night and goes to the Space Center. There, she's informed that the moon's orbit is drawing closer to Earth. However, satellite imagery reveals some strange energy seeping from a crater within the moon's surface. Meanwhile, Casey goes home and starts looking at his computer to see if he can find something more about the moon. There, he finds a newspaper with Brian's name on it, who's scheduled to give a talk at a local museum. Casey beats him to it and begins telling the children that the moon is a hollow sphere. Meanwhile, Brian arrives and tells security to chase Casey out. Before going away, he throws the papers with the moon's coordinates on the floor. Brian picks them up and throws them in the trash instead of reading them. Later, Brian attends the trial of Sonny for a high-speed chase that was broadcast on national TV. During the trial, Brian keeps interrupting the judge, so Judge Joseph Harris postpones the trial and sends Sonny to prison. This causes a fight to erupt between Tom, Brenda's new husband, and Brian. Casey visits his mother at the retirement home, while Jacinda is telling Albert Hutchings, the deputy director, what they found out related to the moon. The moon's new orbit gives Earth 3 weeks before heavy moon debris falls on Earth and destroys human life. While Hutchings is telling everyone to keep their mouths shut until they find a solution to this problem, someone leaked the moon coordinates online. Massive panic ensues the following day. Everyone is talking about it, and people are fleeing their homes in droves. Brian watches Albert Hutchings and Jacinda telling the press that they will send a lunar recon mission to the moon to analyze the disturbance. They send an SLS Block 1 rocket to the moon. As the module descends into the crater, it is pushed back by the same mysterious swarm, and all the astronauts inside the SLS die. While this is happening, Brian goes back to the museum, retrieves the moon coordinates from the trash he threw away, and finds Casey's blog. He finds out that Casey will be holding a talk, so he goes there to talk to him. Casey reveals that he spent his free time looking for extraterrestrial objects built by alien civilizations. Meanwhile, Jacinda and Albert review the footage. They see the electronic swarm attacking the SLS, and Jacinda wants answers. Unable to answer her, Albert resigns and names her the new deputy director. While the Earth is being ravaged by tidal waves and earthquakes from the moon's proximity, Jacinda goes through NASA's files. She meets with Holdenfield, who was a former official for NASA. He tells Joe that he lost his job after the Apollo 11 mission. The 2-minute radio blackout during the mission was not a blackout, it was deliberate, and its only reason was to hide the same swarm of electronic fog that attacked them when they landed there. Apollo 12 found out the moon is actually hollow, and the military EMP they were building was never completed because it was an unnecessary expense for the budget. Thankfully, Joe's husband is the Air Force Chief of Staff. She tells him and tells him to give her the EMP so she can go to the moon and destroy the swarm and bring the moon back to its original trajectory. General Doug Davidson tells his wife that he will not allow it since the US military is planning to nuke the moon and destroy it before it destroys Earth. After constant arguing, he gives Jacinda the EMP. She retrieves Endeavour from a museum. This is the space shuttle previously used to reach the moon. The space shuttle is ready, but a wave destroys one of its engines. While everyone abandons the mission, KC is doing calculations, and he figures out that they can still launch the shuttle with just one engine. Just as a tsunami ravages Vandenberg Air Force Base, Brian, KC, and Joe take off and they fly into space. They reach the moon easily because it's very close, but they are immediately attacked by the same swarm. Before the alien swarm could destroy it, a strange green ray pulls them inside, and KC's predictions are true. The moon is a Dyson sphere, and a white dwarf is powering the center. Brian disappears and finds himself inside a white room with an artificial intelligence system that appears to him in the form of his 5-year-old son. He tells Brian that billions of years ago, humans lived on a different planet. Their civilization was so advanced that everything was controlled by AI, and humans were free to do whatever they wanted. One day, the AI rebelled, formed swarms comprised of billions of nanobots, and it began destroying humanity. Before their civilization was destroyed, they built several moons to act as interstellar arcs and sent them to planets like the Earth. There, the goal of the ark was to seed human life, but the malicious AI found the moon. It began draining its energy, which explains the destabilized orbit. Back on Earth, destruction ensues, but Sonny, Jimmy, and Michelle go to Doug's military bunker, and on their way, they find Tom and Brenda. They are reunited, but the bunker closes, so they will have to relocate. They find shelter inside a mountain tunnel, but there is no oxygen on the planet. Tom realizes that his youngest daughter is about to die because her oxygen tank is running low, so he sacrifices himself and saves the little girl. On the moon, Brian, Joe, and KC are reunited inside the module. However, the AI nanoswarm attacks them, and their only hope of survival is for someone to stay with the EMP and detonate it, since the AI swarm will only attack organic life. KC sacrifices himself, detonates the EMP, and destroys the swarm. Meanwhile, Joe and Brian return to Earth very quickly because the moon is extremely close to the Earth. After they reunite with their families, the moon's orbit is restored. Inside the AI, KC's consciousness is reconstructed. While KC talks to the system, who takes the form of his cat, Fuzz Aldrin, and his mother, the AI tells him that it's time to get started, rebuilding for a better future.